I'm seeing a huge crossover between the way that I help people overcome insomnia and the way people treat people with phobias. And I'm going to be sharing with you the number one thing that every single person with insomnia is the most afraid of. You, I guarantee, will be absolutely terrified of this. I was terrified of this, all my clients are, and I'm going to share with you exactly what this is and exactly how I help my clients overcome this. So imagine you were absolutely terrified of big, hairy, leggy spiders, and you went to go see a therapist to help you overcome this phobia. If that therapist knew what they were doing, they're not going to start you on day one by locking you in a room with that big, horrible, hairy spider from Lord of the Rings. Jump scare, it's coming up now. If they were to do that, I promise it's gone, I'm not going to show it again, but if they were to do that, you'd completely lose trust in them and you'd never want to be anywhere near them. So what they would do instead is they would slowly, incrementally start exposing you to what you fear the most. So they have you in the room with a tiny little money spider in the corner, have you creep slightly closer to it, put it on the end of your finger, put it in your palm, slowly increase the size of that spider until you've got a big, juicy tarantula sat on the palm of your hand. What they've done is to teach you that spiders, they aren't threatening, they're not something that's going to harm you. And they've done that by slowly, incrementally exposing you, slowly but surely, to them. This is very similar to how I would treat people with insomnia, with the thing that they are scared of more than anything else, which is wakefulness during the night time. Because when you think about it, good sleepers, they're not afraid of wakefulness. People with insomnia, they absolutely hate it. They despise it. They fear it. That's why they spend so long in bed with the nostril breathing, the meditation. That's why they've got 1,001 ritualistic behaviors they do before bed to try and make themselves sleep. That's why they completely erode and strip their entire life to try and protect their sleep. It's all in this pursuit of running away from being in bed awake at night time. So teaching people to not be afraid of wakefulness, this is kind of one of the largest things that I do with my jobs. As well as rebuilding people's patterns of sleep, it's changing people's thought patterns to accept wakefulness, which is probably one of the hardest things that I have to do with people. But when I achieve that, I know that they are free of their insomnia. So what I would do is, first of all, I will remove a huge part of the wakefulness that they have from their nighttime by having them spend less time in bed actually awake. So imagine someone who's in bed for 12 hours each night but only sleeping for 6. I'd reduce the amount of time they spend in bed to say 6.5 hours. So now they're only spending about half an hour in bed actually awake. If you want to know how I do that, take a look at the comment section, and at the end of this video as well, where I'll show you a link to a great video to help you do bedtime restriction. So I help reduce the amount of wakefulness you're getting in the night time. I also then do things like stimulus control, where instead of having you lying in bed getting angry, getting stressed, getting annoyed about the fact that you can't sleep, raising your heartbeat, raising your adrenaline, and teaching you that wakefulness is this horrible, scary thing, I have you leave the bedroom, do something you find relaxing and enjoyable, and return to bed when you feel sleepy again. Not to make you sleep on that given night, but just to train and decondition the brain. But actually, wakefulness during the night time is okay. Once you've got to that stage, I'll have you sitting up in bed and being okay with wakefulness, reading a book, for example. I'll also start doing things during the daytime to help you face up to this fear of wakefulness. So say you've had a really poor night of sleep and you want to spend the whole day sort of lying on the sofa, I'll instead get you to face up to that fear and do the things that you absolutely love during the day, just to teach the brain that you can have a poor night of sleep and still have an amazing day the next day. Slowly but surely, incrementally exposing you to the thing that you fear the most. And so loads of behavioural changes that I do for that, loads of thought pattern changes that I do for that, but really it's about bringing you to the stage where you're just as happy to be in bed awake as you are asleep, because that is how good sleepers feel about their sleep. That's how you would have felt when you were a good sleeper. You ask anyone who's a good sleeper, they're absolutely fine with being in bed awake, and that is always the end goal. Right, really hope this video has been helpful to you, and I will see you on the next one.